there's two assumptions that are the foundation to what you're saying.
Okay.
The first assumption is that people are lying. People are intentionally taking the truth and manipulating it to create something different than the truth. So that's assumption number one.
Okay.
Assumption number two, you're assuming that people who work in federal government are somehow different from people who don't work in federal government. Like they're somehow more honest or more loyal or somehow better or different because they have a different responsibility. Somehow they're above being politicized themselves. Somehow they're above being radicalized themselves. They're not. The unfortunate truth is, as you rise through the ranks in the government, you're not necessarily rising based on meritocracy. You're rising because you know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy, and you have no other skill that could be beneficial to the workplace, or else those people would have gotten out. CIA, FBI, NSA, intelligence officers leave all the time when they find that they have value that supersedes the value that they can provide for government. If you can make more money on the outside, you go do something else. If you can start a business, if you're a better teacher, if you're a better shooter, whatever, you would find a job outside of government, except for a very small contingent of people who are exceptionally good at what they do and also exceptionally loyal. So as you go up those ranks, every time I see a petition from NSA or CIA, there's 25 names on here that say that the president is breaking the law, or that say that the president is an informant for Russia. Those 25 names are people who are inside, who have made a commitment that they wouldn't do exactly what they're doing. It doesn't even matter what they say. It shows that they've been politicized and politically radicalized from inside a government that's supposed to serve the people. The people. You serve at the direction of the U.S. president, but you're supporting and defending the Constitution of America. Right. So when you put your name on a piece of paper that says that the president's wrong, you put your name on a piece of paper that says that anything, you're violating your oath of office to the people of the United States. You're supposed to be a quiet cog in a larger machine.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to have a voice. So get your fucking name off the petition. You don't have a voice. The American people have a voice.
I see. So you're not saying this is like some sort of institutional
No.
agenda being directed by BlackRock.
Correct.
This is people that have their own opinions that are somewhat captured and vulnerable to their own bias.
CIA is an organization of about 10,000 people. FBI is an organization of about the same, maybe 20,000 people. So when 50 names out of 20,000 end up on a petition, you're seeing that the vast majority of the institution is staying true to their requirement to be a quiet professional and serve at the direction of their authority.
Okay.
50 people have lost sight of what actually matters. But the way media twists it, those 50 people are heroes, just like Snowden. They're a hero. They're stepping out and they're speaking up to keep us safe. No, they're politically radicalized, or they're being motivated by some other incentive other than...
We saw it with COVID, though. So you see, when we talk about success in the health and wellness space, people usually focus on the product. Maybe it's killer protein powder, a sleek activewear line, a smart home workout program. But what most people don't realize is that the real magic often happens behind the scenes. Take some of your favorite brands like Alaya Naturals, Skims, or mine, for example. Yeah, I mean, we've got the products and the hype, but we're also using something that makes the selling part smooth and seamless. That business, the behind-the-scenes business, is Shopify. And nobody does better than Shopify at selling. Home to the #1 checkout on the planet and the not-so-secret weapon, Shop Pay, which boosts conversions by up to 50%. That means fewer carts get abandoned and way more sales actually go through. So if you're serious about scaling your business, your commerce platform better be ready to meet your customers where they are online, in-store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Because businesses that sell more, they sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Alaya and Skims use. Sign up for your free $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Jillian. That's shopify.com/Jillian, all lowercase. One more time, shopify.com/Jillian to upgrade your selling today. Right now, the headlines are chock full of data breaches and regulatory rollbacks, making us all vulnerable. But you can do something about it. Delete Me is here to make it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online. Delete Me knows your privacy is worth protecting. Sign up and provide Delete Me with exactly what information you want deleted, and their experts take it from there. Delete Me isn't just a one-time service. Delete Me is always working for you, constantly monitoring and removing the personal information you do not want on the internet. For me, I feel so much more secure knowing that my personal info has been wiped from the web, simply because I don't get all the robocalls. I worry far less about identity theft and so much more. So take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Now, at a special discount for our listeners, today get 20% off your Delete Me plan by texting Jillian to 64000. The only way to get 20% off is to text Jillian to 64,000. That's Jillian to 64000. Message and data rates may apply. Like, Bill Gates funds this virality project at Stanford to suss out vaccine hesitancy. It lands on the president's desk. And theoretically, he took that, gave it to, I guess, the FBI, who then went to the social networks and said, like, shut down Hunter Biden laptop, shut down vaccine hesitancy, shut down. Now they're serving on behalf of the president. Mm-hmm. What if what the president is asking, though, is unethical because the laptop is true and COVID did come from a lab and the mRNA tech was pushed through an emergency use loophole and the NIH was doing studies on vaccine injured people as they're rolling out the vaccine? Like, what happens if that president is telling you to do shit that is not in service of the people?
That's why you have two other branches of government.
Oh, well, where were they?
So
what happened?
The other thing is, we're coming from the assumption that the president was giving that direction. There's no reason to believe that the president was giving any specific direction. You think COVID was one of the top 15 things on the president's agenda? One of the biggest criticisms that happened for Donald Trump in 2019 and 20 was his response to COVID. I can almost guarantee you Donald Trump was sitting in the Oval Office like, why the fuck do I care about another global pandemic after the bird flu, after swine flu, after all these other flus that had taken over the whole world, right? They traveled near and far. He was probably like, why would I care about this when I'm on the brink of war with Iran, a trade war with China, there's terrorists still trying to kill Americans. Why do I care about a flu? But then the world reacted different to COVID, right? China shut down. When China shut down, everybody else felt like they had to shut down. All this information was spreading because the National Institute of Health was wrong about so much about the initial information because there were no studies at the time. So you had this propagation not of disinformation or misinformation. You just had a propagation of incomplete information, and nobody knew quite how to react. And then as a result, that's where the primary the political criticism of Donald Trump at the time, that was their in. Because how else are you going to get in on a guy who turned around the economy and get in on a guy who's making America militarily strong and regaining leverage? Like, how are you going to get some place of criticism on this guy?
You know what's fascinating, to sidebar for just a moment, is in the middle of my kind of debate over the LA riots, it was like Trump did this with the guard. And that's I voted for this moment for me. I'm like, no. See, I grew up here. And I've been doing this since I was 17 years old, as far back as I can remember, when it started with Rodney King. And damn city burns down all the time, and it goes on for days.
Yeah.
And by the way, it destroys the most vulnerable communities in large part. So when it's like, oh, well, people in the rich part of Los Angeles don't get hit, who cares? Yeah. So just like Compton go down and like all the other, which seems insane to me. And you have watched these cities burn in particular over the course of the last 5 years, and you've watched the left say that what's going on in Seattle is the summer of love. Okay, I'm also not for January 6th, so I don't have like this kind of selective hypocrisy. I'm against crazy people in the streets. I don't care what side you're on. You don't get to like run vigilante, in my personal opinion. As the temps start to rise, I get that familiar urge to refresh my closet. But I am done wasting money on trendy pieces that I wear once, which is why I'm obsessed with Quince. The clothes are timeless, elevated, built to last, no insane markup. I'm talking about 100% European linen shorts and dresses that start at just $30. Italian leather platform sandals, luxe swimwear that looks straight off a runway but costs half of what you'd expect. Quince partners directly with top-tier factories, cutting out the middleman so you Get designer quality at a price that actually makes sense. And they only work with ethical, responsible manufacturers who care about people and the planet. Personally, I stocked up on the linen tees and the tanks, and believe it or not, a killer summer dress. Occasionally, I do wear dresses. And honestly, it finally feels like my wardrobe matches my standards. Upgrade your wardrobe at quince.com. Luxury should never mean compromise. Team, give your summer closet an upgrade with Quince. Go to quince.com/Jillian for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Jillian to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Jillian. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And make sure to let me know what guests you want to see on in the future.